And crossing borders, Moscow first increasing isolation on Tuesday as President Putin showed no sign of stopping an invasion of Ukraine, where fierce fighting and Russian bombardment have killed dozens and sparked a refugee crisis. The Russian leader faces mounting diplomatic isolation for launching the biggest assault on a European state since World War II, and the systematic impact of Western sanctions led to a near 30% collapse in the ruble on Monday before central bank intervention rescued the currency from its loss. Bushebi Jr. with more on that story.
Russia has started feeling the economic effects of its full-scale invasion of Ukraine. The European Union, United States of America, United Kingdom and allies have announced they would lock Russia out of the global payment system SWIFT.
We commit to ensuring that a certain number of Russian banks are removed from SWIFT. This will ensure that these banks are disconnected from the international financial system and harm their ability to operate globally. SWIFT is the world's dominant global interbank payment system. Cutting banks off will stop them from conducting most of their financial transactions worldwide and effectively block Russian exports and imports.
It's a generation or more since we witnessed such bloodshed in Europe. We hoped we would never have to see such sights again.
The anti-tank, we need anti-aircraft. We just need to increase our defensive capability to stop the crazy aggressor in Europe.
We hate what's just happening right now in our country.
SWIFT stands for Worldwide Interbank Financial Telecommunication. It was launched in 1973 and is based in Belgium. It allows cross-border payments and operates in over 200 countries and links over 11,000 financial institutions.
The European Union and its partners are working to cripple Putin's ability to finance his war machine.
SWIFT is an instant messaging system that alerts users when payments have been made and when transfers have been effected. The system sends at least 40 million messages daily, with trillions of dollars changing hands between companies and governments.
The term London grad didn't come out of nowhere. And for so many years, the British financial system and the British banking system has been used by Putin's kleptocrats to essentially launder the money that they're stealing here from the people of Russia. It is high time for that to stop.
At least 1% of these transactions involve Russian payments. The system is owned by over 2,000 American and European banks who wanted to avoid monopoly by a single institution.
We are impacting upon 70% of the banking system in Russia. We are preventing the regime from financing the war effort. And this is meaningful, this is important, and we are all behind it.
SWIFT is managed by the National Bank of Belgium, which works hand in hand with the US Federal Reserve, the Bank of England and global central banks. The platform enhances international trade for its members and isn't allowed to take sides in disputes.
So, of course, strong sanctions, we have to agree on those. It has two effects. One is the deterring effect, but the other effect is punishing. Also the adversary, making the adversary weaker so that he can't make other steps towards the countries. And I must say it's a very difficult day because for us we have our Independence Day today. We celebrate our freedom today. So Ukraine is fighting for their freedom at the same time. We have to do everything to support Ukraine with practical tools, also military aid, also the financial support, but also politically. I think we have to give strong signals that European doors are not closing, NATO doors are not closing, and I also personally think that Putin is underestimating the strength of the Ukrainians to fight for their freedom and fight for their country.
However, in 2012, Iran was banned from using the system over its nuclear program. As a result, it lost nearly half of its oil export revenues and estimated 30% foreign trade.
I'm calling them every 10-15 minutes. I don't know what is happening there right now. Just stand up and do something to protect our family.
United States President Joe Biden, British Prime Minister Boris Johnson, and their allies have announced economic sanctions on Russia.
Authorizing additional strong sanctions.
Package of massive and targeted sanctions.
Largest and most severe package of economic sanctions.
The Biden administration prohibited U.S. banks from doing business with Russian banks in new measures, also targeting Russia's National Wealth Fund and the Ministry of Finance. If effected, it means there would be delays and extra costs, thereby denying the Russian government revenue.
We will stop Putin from using his war chest. We will paralyze the assets of Russia's central bank. This will freeze its transactions, and it made it impossible for the central bank to liquidate assets.
The Bank of Russia has also moved to cushion its $1.5 trillion economy from shocks as an emergency move.
We will work to prohibit Russian oligarchs from using their financial assets on our markets. All of these measures will significantly harm Putin's ability to finance his war.
On Thursday, February 24th, oil prices in the US rose past $100, which is equivalent to 11,000 Kenyan shillings per barrel for the first time since 2014 following Russia's invasion of Ukraine. America's stockpiles were at their lowest levels since 2002 following President Joe Biden's move to release 50 million barrels in November 2021. Investors worry that a major war in Europe could hurt the economy recovery from the health crisis caused by the COVID-19 pandemic and the disruptions to global energy supplies. For Maisha Prime, Maisha Television, I'm Bushabi Jr.